Hey guys, and welcome to probably the greatest game of Total War Warhammer 3 that has ever been played to date. I'm a Rubber Duck of War, and today we are taking on the mighty Ninja Pingving in what is a glorious battle. We have gone for the dreaded full bear build, and it is a work of art. Likewise, my opponent, as you can see from the missiles raining down on my formation, has also gone for the Chad double Sky Lantern build. It's certainly going to be some crazy stuff. Now, I haven't played that many land battles on Warhammer 3 yet, been mainly playing domination and having an absolute blast, and honestly, hadn't enjoyed the land battles I had played that much up until yesterday, when me and Ninja got involved, and he's always so fantastic a player to face, very talented player, and likewise loves to have a bit of a laugh and bring some pretty crazy stuff. And I must admit, they've been the funnest land battles I have done by a long way so far in Warhammer 3, so I'm excited to bring one of them here for you today. So for our full bear build, of course, we do have the mighty war sleds. We have 3 heavy war sleds and 1 light war sled. This was simply a kind of process of money that I had a load of money left over. I couldn't afford 2 light war sleds, so I kept upgrading them to heavy war sleds. And I must admit, the heavy war sleds do look just that tad cooler. I love the extra armor, particularly these shields guarding the shoulders of our mighty bears. And hey, we have to look after the bears, as they are, of course, part of our cultural heritage as Kislevs here. With a Frost Maiden of Tempest leading the way, of course, riding dirty on a glorious bear, as she should be. She's coming in with the Glacial Blast, as well as the Snowflake Pendant, and the egg as well makes her unbreakable for a little while, which is okay. I kind of accidentally brought that item, I think, though. He's bringing some really fun spells, though. Hailstorm is a nice, cheeky little bombardment. We also have Swift Wing, which is something that I think has been very overlooked. If you overcast it, it becomes Air of Effect, and this can work on your Warbear sleds really well, increasing their speed. We have the Hawks of Mishka as well, which I'm really excited to showcase to you guys today because they have some fantastic animations. We do have War Bear Riders, and honestly, it wouldn't really be a full-on Kislev full bear build without a couple of War Bears, but also Boris Urson, the great bear himself, coming to battle on a glorious-looking mount, riding to war with all of the goodies today, pretty much, kind of all his items, spells, and abilities, and all the juiciness. As for my opponent, we have a couple of peasant horsemen down here on the left-hand side. We have triple Jade Lancers, which I can't actually see at the moment because of the terrain. I'm completely blind to the fact there's a waiting ambush of triple Jade Lancers looking to stalk and hop out onto my war sleds at any moment. We do have a bit of an air force, double Great Longmar Riders to attempt to pin in chariots, and 2 Sky Junks up in the skies. I have nothing to contest them, so certainly going to be able to get some decent value today. We have 1 unit of Jade Warriors, 1 unit of Iron Hail Gunners, and a Dragon-Blooded Lord down on the ground. Big fan of Dragon-Blooded Lords in general, particularly in domination mode. I think the one of Yin can do a bucket ton of damage and work. Coming in with the Scales of the Celestial Court, we have Missile Mirror, Talons of the Night, as well as the Ancestral Warriors, being able to summon some stone-esque warriors from eons past to come fight in your battle is a pretty nifty trick to have up your sleeve. So we do start to ride forwards, the mighty war bears bomb rush, and I do see the peasant horseman on the left-hand side. I'm like, right, I can't do anything about the Sky Junk, so I need to assassinate my opponent's build as quickly as physically possible. Yes, Sky Junks are designed to kill infantry. They'll still do damage to war bears and so on. So here we go. We do pop the glorious Swift Wing, upgraded here, making it Air of Effect. I freaking love the animations they've done on the magic. They're really insane, particularly for Kislev. And the heavy war sleds, all of a sudden coming in with a whopping 83 speed, actually almost being able to catch the peasant horseman. And the fact we get the charge bonus of the animation as we move in should mean we're able to catch these pesky peasants on the charger. They continue to run, but the war bears are amongst you. What can men do against such a reckless bear play? In come the heavy sleds and the light war sleds, just clatter into the peasant horseman, doing some pretty decent damage. Longmar Riders swift to react though, and actually going for a bit of a bomb rush down onto the war bears, attempting to pin them in to allow the Sky Junks to really bring the pain. And boy oh boy, the Sky Junks are doing a decent amount of damage here to my tightly compact formation. However, war bears going to do really well up against Longmar Riders. We're quite comfortably going to chew them to pieces. We do have a nasty spell coming in, though, as we were pinned in and bunched up in place. But it seems like we're going to get something a little bit nasty come down. I don't know what this is. Oh, no, this is Boris's ability, just helping to drive away the great Longmars. We do have some ancient warriors summoned as well to help deal with my war bears, which is really bad news for me. In the distance, the light war sleds are simply running over the Iron Hail Gunners, as well as Jade Warriors. We finished off the peasant horsemen. Looks like the Jade Lancers are vibing out on the wing, just having a good time being used as tactical reserves here. Warbears are going to fall back away from the Ancestral Warriors, which is 1000% what we need to do here. Simply avoid this, halberds, wrap up and around, and wait for them to dissipate, because summons do eventually disappear. They're also being frostbitten, and their speed has been slowed. In the main fight, the war sleds are just driving through the enemy cavalry now. There's so many bears. Cav, in fairness, should be able to counter war sleds. We have so many in one go. We're quite easily and comfortably dealing with the peasant horsemen here, overwhelming them nicely as more war bears rotate around to the side. Unfortunately for our warbears, though, they're taking considerable damage now to these pesky skyjunks up in the sky. So also drop a well-placed bomb there onto the warbears. And it looks like one of our units is going to be going down here, get tangled and ensnared by cavalry as the long mars pin us in place, allowing the ancestral warriors to hop on top of us. Really nice play there by my opponents. And the poor warbears, I hate seeing the warbears die. They're one of those my favorite units in the game. And look how sad it is. Just one of the little polar bears on its tummy there as they do get decimated and destroyed. The other units here get a little bit bunched up for myself. I'm trying to just bomb rush the unit of halberds as quickly as possible and overwhelm them, but as I do this, the skyjunks of course are going to have a bit of a field day as Longmire riders do move down to assassinate, and it looks like we're going to be getting yet another air of effectability going down, and it is the talons of the dragons raising from their murky graves to pull down many a brave bears with them. You can see a couple of sleds have been smashed and destroyed by the muscular arms of the dragons. I'm driving away at the Iron Hail gunners. At this point, I still did not even know these Jade Lancers existed. I don't think my opponent did either at this point. Then he remembers them, but they were blocked the majority of the battle, at least on the approach, with this rock and forest, so I didn't know they were here, and because of my camera angle, I had no idea this cavalry was coming, and it is horrifying to find out there is 3 units of Jade Lancers, fully health, bomb rushing you. The balance power is slightly against me. I was like, why is it against me? I think I'm doing pretty good, and then the horses arrive. We do manage to slay a couple on the charge, and we rather swiftly attempt to fall back here, but the Jade Lancers can be a fantastic counter to the war sleds in general. We have war bears coming back as well as Boris, though, and Boris should do a decent number, you'd think, on the Jade Lancers. At least he is designed to be an anti-large specialist. Frost Maiden is driving away the Iron Hail gunners, and the Skyjunks continuing to pound down shots from afar, up to 5 and 11 kills, but by God, have they been getting some decent value, up to 1,100 value on one unit, and the other unit 1,200, certainly not too bad. Now, we do call down our own Vortex, and it looks so friggin' awesome as the birds swoop around, bringing carnage and death wherever they go. It does some pretty decent damage here to the Jade Lancers. It also applies a discourage effect, which is really good for those big blob fights I found in domination as well as land battles. So awesome stuff there. The heavy war sleds are buffed up by stand your ground, going to be used to drive away Jade Lancers, and we do start to take the balance power into our favor. It was relatively close for a long time there, particularly because the Jade Lancers are waiting in reserve. If they had fought with the army, I think my opponent would have been in a much better situation, but it did catch me off guard, and a lot of light war sleds and heavy war sleds have paid a bloody toll here as more shots do start to reap across the battlefield like beautiful fireworks, destroying all my troops from the Skyjunks. Heavy war sleds continue to pursue Jade Lancers where possible whilst trying to escape the second unit of Jade Lancers. I don't really want to stand here and fight them in hand-to-hand combat, but if we do get our handgunners shooting, look at our beautiful dance moves there coming in by the heavy war sled, jigging back and forth. We should be able to do relatively decent damage to the Jade Lancers, who are basically more expensive Empire Knights here. We're going to be driving back and just pulling them apart as much as possible, trying to kite and dish out some decent pain. In the main fight, it does look like some of our light war sleds will be going down. My opponent comes with a real clutch play here with the Ancestral Warriors summon to hop on all my troops and protect his lord, but I'm going to do what all good Kislevites would do in a situation when faced with so many crazy halberd troops. I'm going to run away. I'm going to run away really, really quickly here. So I'm simply going to fall back and trying to escape and just jump on top of the enemy Jade Lancers and hope that this unit of Ancestral Warriors will dissipate before I really have to deal with them too much. More shots are coming in, doing decent damage to the heavy war sleds here, but they're a bit more bulky than the light war sleds. They should be able to endure a little bit. We do come in with the glorious Swift Wing upgraded once again, buffing the speed of all our mighty wagons here, which is also going to slow down the Jade Lancers because of the passive of that law, which is really quite nice. We're able to catch the Jade Lancers and finish them off for good. More shots are coming in, but I think my opponent running of ammunition is going to be quite problematic for him because then the Skyjunks can do basically nothing. Likewise, I'm simply trying to wait these Ancestral Warriors out, and we'll be in a fantastic position. Jade Lancers are forced off. We are hunting down the second unit as well, and it is looking really, really juicy for me right now. I'm continuing to pursue, though. The Ancient Warriors, or Ancestral Warriors, do unfortunately fold into nothingness and go back to the dust whence they came. Hopefully they can have a peaceful grave. and not to have too many nightmares of bears. Once again, the dragon's talons reap upwards to try and drag me down, but I'm too speedy and I am able to escape that. We only see dead Cathayans on the ground rather than the mighty Kislevites. Boris turns around and with a charge challenges the enemy. In the name of the great bear god Urson, you shall bow, petty dragon lord. And it looks like the Cathay general is going to lose heart and retreat. I do not blame him. Boris Urson, the man, the myth, the Chad legend, is a mighty warrior to contest with. Well played to my opponent. Was a bit of a meme game from both of us, but by God, was a bucket ton of fun to play. We also had a really awesome Kislev versus Cathay game, which unfortunately my opponent's game crashed just before the end, but it was pretty much done by then. So if you guys want to see that as like a real competitive, more standard game of like land battles, let me know in the comments down below. But I thought it'd be fun to do a little bit of a meme game as well. Check it up there. We've done quite a few serious competitive domination games recently, and well played to Ninja, an absolute Chad. He's been a supporter of my channel, I think, before I had 100 subscribers, so he's been around for a long time, and it's always a pleasure to have him on the channel, particularly with such a glorious build. The double sky junks actually performing really well. 1,400 and 1,300 damage value, living the test of time there. But what can men do against such reckless bear play? Not too much, I would gander. So, I will delve into the gold value in just a second, but if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought of the battle. I know every YouTuber says that in every... Oh, my PC is going crazy. There we go. I know every YouTuber says that in every video, but trust me, it helps out a bucket ton. It's like the holy trinity for YouTubers there. So I really appreciate the support. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers now, which is really exciting. I am probably going to start doing some live streams kind of leading up to that, and then we'll do a big special one, of course, when the time does come. Probably would have done a live stream today, either on Twitch or YouTube. I have had surgery recently, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident in doing a full live stream now. It may be like a short one, an hour to an hour and a half, but then we'll build back up into it as I do continue to recover. But thank you for bearing with me on the lack of live streams so far. Load of links down below as well in the description. Twitch, Patreon, Discord, all that good standard stuff. But back to the battle. Boris Urson, 1,161 gold value. Very healthy in the end still. Challenging the enemy, looking their general in the eye, and their general fled before the might of the great bear god and the bear man himself. Frost Maiden, I've actually really like Kislev magic. I've seen a lot of people saying they don't like it that much. It's so freaking cool. It's got so many different utilities. Like the extra speed buff's really good fun. And yeah, a lot of their vortexes may not be as powerful as some from other factions, but they look very cool, and that's got to count for something. The Warbears, 796 and 1,254 gold value, both kind of getting taken out, unfortunately, due to some good pin and play with the Long Mars, followed up by the Sky Junks. Heavy War Sleds in general, man, are so nasty. 84 kills, 104, 82, and 45. 1,800 damage, 1,400. 1,300 and 839 on the light war sleds. Bye, heavy war sleds are so freaking cool. As for my opponent, the Dragon-Blooded Suganon Lord, only 250 gold value on them. Longbow Riders, despite being used as sacrificial pinning lambs, still got 1,600 value, 1.4 and 1.3 on the mighty Sky Junks. Jade Lancers were kept in a deep reserve. I think my opponent did say he actually forgot about them rather than leave them in a tactical reserve, but, you know, it surprised me. They jumped out and spooked me a little bit. If they were fighting on top of the halberds and being used to pin in my troops as the Ancestral Warriors were brought to bear, I think I actually might have really struggled there to seal victory, but luckily for me, they were forgotten behind the rock. 880 gold value on the Jade Warriors. Pretty impressive stuff all round. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.